I'd like to introduce over the airways to all of you my special guest that is in the studio with me today, sitting directly to my right, Alan Scott Rosenthal, who happens to be a candidate for the sixth circuit court judge for those elections that are coming up at the end of this month. I believe the election is on August 23rd, I believe, is it?
August 26th.
August 26th, okay. Coming up shortly. So you're going to be hearing Mr. Rosenthal sharing with you some of his views, his perspectives, his passion, and why he feels that he wants this particular position. We're going to be finding out soon. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and open up the our conversation here for this interview. Mr. Rosenthal, let me see here. I have a little information
that
here.
won't work. Just Al. Al's great. You say, Mr. Rosenthal, I'm looking for my dad, and he's not here. So let's keep it informal.
Okay.
I appreciate the courtesy, but I'm just Al.
Okay, I've got to remember that throughout the conversation. We're just going to be casual and cordial here, so just Al. Okay.
It's time to learn about Al Rosenthal today.
Okay.
How
All
about
righty. All right. Let's see. I got your resume here. I want to ask you a few things about this. First of all, let me get my little sheet out here I had. Says you're married to Kathy.
Guilty as charged. Been a 19-year sentence so far. July 23rd, recently, I had my 19th wedding anniversary. She's marvelous. She really is.
I always want to start off giving honor to the wife, okay?
Oh, yes.
Before I get to any education or what you're doing and all that stuff. Any children now?
I have two beautiful, wonderful children, my daughter Kaylin and Jacob, and they are awesome.
Okay, thank you so much. What about, let's see, I'm looking here. It's a couple of things that stood out for me on your resume. It says that you're the, let me see, Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of Florida. What is that about?
The Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons is a fraternal organization, which is a wonderful fraternal organization of men who try to take good men and make them better. They have multiple charitable causes that they are involved in, including the Masonic Medical Research Laboratories, which is for heart research, and they just do a marvelous job. That particular institute has done such good work for so many people. I mean, if you've ever known anyone with a stent or an internal or external heart defibrillator, you can thank the Masonic Medical Research Laboratories for that, because they're stellar. And I've been a member now going on, I guess, 21 years. And part and parcel, as I'm sure you've heard of the Shriners. I'm a Shriner as well, and we help lots of children with all sorts of disorders, orthopedic disorders, and the burn centers. We provide $2 million a day in free medical care for children, and I just love helping the community and children, and the organization is just, it really has been a motivational factor in my life.
Thank you, Al. I see here you have an undergraduate degree at University of Florida and a undergraduate degree at, it says here, BS Telecommunication.
Yeah, my Bachelor of Sciences in Telecommunication, which is in English, television and radio production, so I'm really happy to be here today. I actually get to use some of my skills. I also obtained a minor in music education and performance and a business concentration while at the University of Florida. I was a concert bassoonist and a scholarship holder at New Orleans at Loyola University. I was their principal bassoonist, which is kind of unique. I don't know that we have too many judicial candidates who are bassoon players, nor probably want to be, but I also play jazz saxophone and clarinet, trumpet, keyboard, drums, just about anything. I love music.
Okay, well, excuse me, Al, for saying this, but I must say it. I recently saw you at an event in May.
Oh, my.
It was it was the Pink Bow Tie Gala event for cancer awareness. And I was talking with my son earlier, said, should I say this or should I not say this? But I have to tell you that I've met Al at least a couple of times, and I can tell you this is one man that definitely has some soul in his bones. I just have to say it. this is the next, even though, I don't know if I should say this.
Go ahead, go. You ain't gonna embarrass me. I'm here. People should know about me. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's all good.
It's just a white guy with a lot of soul in him. I just got to tell you, soul in his bone. And talking about can dance, I just got to say it before I move on. Oh, he has some soul and he can move. I just had to say it.
I love that. Thank you. I love to dance. Let the music get into your bones. It's all good.
And so when I saw that on your resume, your bio, that you was a jazz saxophonist and all that, I said, oh, I just cannot pass on that. I just gotta see it. I just gotta see it. Well, let me do this, Al. There's much I want to share more about that, but our assistant on the board here has already advised me someone has already called in before I even opened up the phone lines.
Wow.
So let's just see who this is, and before we move on a little further, we don't want to keep them holding. Sister Diane, go ahead and put them through. Thank you. Caller, you're on the air. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, I can barely hear you.
Okay, well, we can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay.
Okay, who do we have on the line today?
My name is Kirk.
Okay, Kurt,
I'm
welcome.
calling from Seminole.
All right. Okay, you're calling with a question for the candidate today, or you just want to share some comments?
Yes, ma'am. I was calling about a question. I'm looking at placing a vote, but I'm very questionable about some things, and I would like to know what Mr. Rosenthal's views are on our judicial system.
Al, you want to answer that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not allowed to give specific opinions, but I'll tell you this. I think we have the greatest judicial system in the world. We live in the greatest country in the world. Now, that's not to say that the judicial system doesn't have problems, because it does. And that's why I'm running for judge. I'd like to try to fix some of those problems. You know, one of the largest problems we have is access to the courts. You know, many people want to get a hearing, and hearing time is very difficult to get. The clerks have done a wonderful job in the state, and what they've done recently is brought in what's called electronic filing. And electronic filing allows attorneys and the like to file their documents without actually having to go to the court. We save paper, postage. It's the efficiency level has risen, which also makes it easier to get to the court. Another thing is, of course, I think one of the pitfalls that we have in our court system is the lack of equality in getting justice, and that deals with finances. I mean, it takes a lot of money to go to court. You know, I've been practicing law now going on 17 years as a family law practitioner for the most part, although I have practiced criminal, civil, probate law. I've done federal bankruptcy work, but the biggest complaint I think most people have is, I really want to go to trial, but I don't have enough money. Unfortunately, justice is expensive. We've got some wonderful programs out there to help people, the community law programs and the like, which are wonderful. We have costs out there to help people who have been in battered syndromes, spouse syndromes and things of that nature, dealing with domestic violence. But I think those are the problems, and I'd like to try to keep a very tight docket, try to get people in there. But we can't sacrifice people getting into court for justice. Everyone needs an opportunity to be heard and to be given a fair shake. I hope that I will be the best judge I can. That's all. The only promise I'll make everyone is I'll get on the bench, I'll listen with an unbiased viewpoint, I'll listen to all the evidence and take in all the testimony before I even think about making a decision, because people coming to court need that. People want to know when they come to court that the person they're telling their story to, one, is going to listen, is going to care, and come to an unbiased decision at the end. That is my goal for the court system. Does that answer your question?
Caller, are you still there? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I got most of it. It's a bad connection. I do apologize. I did get most of it, and I very good in my opinion. I have been following the race, not a race, but the candidacy in this, and I would like to ask one more question. I'm a very big family man, and I believe in family, and I believe in loyalty, and I believe in all this. Where do you stand on family values?
Well,
looking from, I researched the candidates in this poll, and I see that you practice family law.
Right. Yeah. Family is extraordinarily important to me. I don't know if you heard in the intro, but I've been married now to the same woman for 19 years. I have two lovely children, Jacob and Kaylin, that go to a public school here in the area. I believe in public school. I believe
Oh,
in
wow.
I believe in strong family values. But I believe everyone has the right to make their own choices and what that would detail. Some people's idea of what a family is different than others, and I don't think the government has a right to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. But I love my wife, I love my children, and I think we need more families to come together because the society as a whole is failing, and it's failing because family values have slipped, parental involvement has slipped, and I think if we come back to that as a whole and we start looking, to God again, I think a lot of people have forgotten.
Forgotten about God?
I think they've forgotten about
Putting
God.
God
I think,
on the back burner? Yes.
Yeah, hey, it's okay. We'll just put him on the back burner and we'll get to him later. So I strongly believe in family values, and I strongly believe in a community that
That's a good thing, definitely.
I appreciate that. That's looking. Everyone needs to start taking care of everybody again. I mean, that's the problem. Everyone's looking out for themselves, and I know it's hard with the economy. And what do they say when you're on an airplane? If the power goes out, you got to put your mask on first.
Yes.
But hey, get your mask on, and then hey, help your neighbor out. Put his mask on for him too. Don't forget about the person next to you.
Okay. I like that, Al. I like that. That's right. That's what the world needs now is more love, sweet love, and people caring about people and people seeing about each other. When so many people right now been living in a neighborhood 20 or 30 years and don't even know their neighbor. They don't even know their neighbor.
How crazy is that? I know when I grew up, everyone in my neighborhood knew everybody. And, if if we were bad, we didn't have to worry about mom and dad whipping us, candidly, because the neighbors would do it for them.
Remember that too, yeah.
Right, or they tell your mom and dad. Today, it's kind of like everyone ignores it. I'm happy to say I live in a neighborhood that I know every neighbor on my right side, every neighbor on my left side. I know the people across the street. It's wonderful. We need a bigger, better sense of community. And those are the type of values and life skills and experience that I'll bring to the bench.
Yes.
So I hope, caller, that while you were confused about your vote, that come August 26th, you will bubble the name Alan Rosenthal in there, and I would appreciate that.
Definitely appreciate your time, and you answered all my questions, and I won't hold you guys up no further, but that's the only two I had. Coming from my background, those are two big things for me, especially living here in the city, and a lot of people have forgotten those values, and I'm thankful for both of your time.
Well, thank you so much, caller, for calling in. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Kirk.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Well, Al, you've covered so much that I was about to ask you, but I'm still going to continue with my questions.
Sorry about that.
And we are going to be opening up the phone lines as that caller called in before I even opened them up, and that's great. If you're listening and you're in the area, 727-864-1600. Please give us a call if you have a question for Alan Rosenthal today. Well, he told me to leave off the Rosenthal. So if you have a question for Alan today, please give us a call. We're interviewing Alan today. He's a candidate for the 6th Circuit Court judge. So the elections are coming up on August 26th. So in case you didn't know that or haven't opened the mail that came, if you have a mail-in ballot or anything or haven't even heard about the elections, they're coming up soon. So we're getting a chance to interview him and get his views and perspectives on several issues or questions that you may have. Well, you've already answered this question for me, how long you've been practicing law, and you said about 17 years?
Yeah, it's almost 17 years now, and, I've had the ability, a majority of my practice, probably 90% or a little more, has been family law, probably one of the toughest areas of law because it's so personal. And through that time, it's given me an ability to really understand people, communicate with people, sympathize, empathize, all those necessary skills, because being a judge just isn't knowing about the law. I mean, all the candidates know about the law, or they wouldn't be lawyers, and all of them are good lawyers. It really comes down to, at the end, almost a personal preference, and I hate to say it like that, but it's about demeanor, it's about temperament, it's who you think is going to sit in that chair and do the right thing.
Yes. Well, that's it for me. That's why you're on this program. You've already told us what your expertise are, so family law, anything else that you're doing that the audience need to know about?
Absolutely. I've also practiced in criminal law. I've done probate law. Essentially, I've practiced in every area of the law that can be assigned to a circuit court judge. You know, you don't know when you're elected what you're going to do.
Yes.
The chief judge will have a little talk with you and go, well, you know, I think we need you over here. So I'm prepared. Nobody can know everything, and the reason my practice has been 90% family law is because, without sounding arrogant, I'm good at it. I love it. I enjoy helping people. It's a very social type of a type of law to practice because it gets down right into people's cores, and it's so important. You know, who's going to get the children, making sure, you know, dads and moms get to see their kids, making sure child support's paid, alimony's paid, you know, adoption areas. Those are just such poignant issues that we need to be very careful with, and I enjoy it. But, you know, like I said, I've done the criminal, I've done the probate, I've done the civil. I've pretty much done it all. I do federal bankruptcy work as well. I enjoy expanding my intellect and education and training and trying new laws, or areas of laws, I should say. But if you focus on one area, you know that your clients are going to get an exceptional service. They're going to be treated well. They know their lawyer knows what they're talking about, and that's what you want when you want a lawyer. As a judge, I'll have the opportunity to rotate through different areas of the law, and at that time I'll brush up my skills and make sure that wherever I'm assigned, that I have a competency level that will make the public understand and respect what I'm doing, and I'll do the best job I can.
Well, I know that's my feelings about any lawyer is that I get a lawyer that know what they're doing. And you know.
So important. Oh, my God. So important.
Well, before I get to the next question, we have a caller on the line.
All right.
All right. Caller, you're on the air. How can we help you today? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes. I just want to get that name, that gentleman's name that running for that judge. I have it on my ballot, but I didn't recognize him.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. So when you look at it now, you'll be able to put a voice with a name. Okay.
Yes.
Alan Scott Rosenthal.
Alan Scott Rosenthal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thank you, ma'am.
Well, thank you for calling in, caller.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. Alan, what made you decide to run as a candidate for Sixth Circuit Court Judge?
Well, like I said, I've been practicing law now going over 16 years, and I had thought about running for judge substantially earlier, but I didn't think I had the experience level to go forward. I mean, it's a huge commitment to be a judge. It's a huge responsibility to the community. I love the law. Maybe it's corny, I don't know, but I love what I do, and I love the idea now of going from an advocacy role to a role of equal justice. And I think I can bring a really good balance to the bench. I think that I can be substantially impartial, listen to people, and make sure that when people leave my courtroom, whether they win, whether they lose, they know they've been treated fairly and they've had a fair opportunity to be heard. So that's why I'm running for judge, because I think people need judges that have that type of temperament and will be fair and unbiased.
Thank you, Alan. Next question I have here that was presented to me. If you're elected, Alan, what can we expect from you to make a difference in our current court system?
Well, you know, honestly, judges don't have that great of an impact of changing things in that regard. We do control our own calendars. In other words, we can...
as far as what cases you're going to hear?
Well, not necessarily what cases we're going to hear, but how quickly we can get people in for emergencies, and how quickly we can get them court time. Some judges have, we call them calendar calls. In other words, or cattle calls. Lots of people will come in for very limited periods of time, and it's a good time to give a Band-Aid. You know, sometimes you can't have a full contested hearing because court time is unfortunately. Each judge probably has approximately, and this is from Judge Boyer, he's on the campaign trail with us, and he has approximately at any time 1,800 cases at any given time. If you can imagine having 1,800 cases.
In 1 year?
That's in 1 year.
Okay.
1,800 cases, and when you get one gone, guess what? A new one fills its place. So I'm hoping to improve the access to the courtroom, at least to my individual courtroom. I can't speak for other courtrooms. It's just it would not be within my power to do that. But I would like to make it easier for me to be contacted, for hearing time to be set up. Like I said, the electronic filing has been a huge thing. Emailing, technology. technology is a great equalizer. I think at this point is going to make life a lot easier for people to reach out to the court system and have greater access. So I think that's what I will bring. Because as you know, my technology background in telecommunications, so I'm very familiar.
Okay. Well, Alan, as I was listening to you and you was telling me about that particular judge, or some judges have a caseload of 1,800 cases in a year, what comes to mind with that is, would that probably have any bearing as to why some judges just make a quick decision just to clear their schedule for their agenda for that day, and really maybe could have possibly not really listened to the facts enough to make a better decision, or maybe another decision than what they made as far as sentencing or anything like that? Because the judge actually hands down the sentencing. So, do you think there's a possibility?
And I hope that's not the case. I'd like to say that in the Sixth Judicial Circuit we have exceptional judges on the bench. We are really blessed in this circuit to have exceptional judges, and I think they make the best decisions they can. And sometimes it's very trying. A couple of years back we had Judge Greer on the bench. He was an exceptional.
I remember him.
Yeah,
yes,
he was
yes.
an exceptional judge.
Yes.
And I won't talk about any current judges, but I'll talk about Judge Greer because the reason I kind of very much respect him is whether you liked the way he ruled in certain cases or not. We had that Terry Schiavo case, if you remember.
Yes, I remember.
No, yeah. Whether you like the way he ruled or not, what I respected about him and what I will do and I will bring to the bench is the man was willing to stand on an island, and it didn't matter what other people thought. The outside influences didn't affect him. Didn't matter that the governor told him to do one thing. It didn't matter the special interest groups told him to do another thing. A judge, above all, must remain impartial. He must be able to make the difficult decisions and not worry what other people think. He must follow the law, or she must follow the law. It is not up to them to legislate from the bench. So whether you like the law or you don't like the law, as a judge, you don't get to change it. You have to live with it, because we have a wonderful government of checks and balances. And when one branch starts going over the power that they've given, they exceed the power they've given, that's when the system falls apart. And like I said, I love this country. I love our rights. I love the liberties we're given, through the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And judges must respect the power. As I can tell you as a practicing lawyer, a lot of my clients go, well, judge can do anything he wants. And I really hate hearing that, because they can't. Some, I guess, may think they do, but they can't. They can only do what the legislature allows them to do, only what the current law allows for them to do. And that's all I'm going to do. I will not exceed the powers that the legislature and the laws give us. I will follow the law to the letter, because it's not up to a judge to legislate from the bench.
Okay. What are you most passionate about, Al?
Wow. Well, I love the law, but if I had a passion directly, I love music. I started playing music when I was 5 years old. I played piano. I guess I sat down and started to tinker on the keys, and then I was lucky enough. My mom got me a music teacher, and I started playing. I started writing songs probably when I was 6 or 7, and like I said, I obtained a full bassoon scholarship to Loyola University and played there as their principal bassoonist, and played jack saxophone there in their jazz band. I continue to play all around whenever anyone asks me. So if somebody wants me to go play jazz saxophone, just give me a call.
Just give you a call. Okay.
Or bassoon. I'll be happy to play in the symphony. I love doing that. So I think music's my passion. I'm one of those weird people, though. I'm extraordinarily eclectic. I've got such a diverse background. If you came to my house, you'd find a 10 by 20 building in the backyard, and it's full of wood stuff, because I do a lot of woodworking. My dad was a mechanic. I started turning wrenches as a kid, probably around 7 years old, till about 17 when I moved out of the house. And my dad was a mechanic, so I know what it's like to work hard. I've been there. I know what it takes to work out in the heat. Right now we don't have a big campaign staff. It's pretty small, but we've got a lot of passionate people who are behind us. But you'll see me out on the side of the road with a post hole digger, and digging two holes to put a sign in the ground. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. Never have been. Never will be.
I think people would be most interested in knowing that, I'm going to vote for Al because my dad was a carpenter. I'm going to vote for Al because my dad was a mechanic. So people need to hear that little personal side of you.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. My last question before we run out of time is, Why should I and others that are listening to this broadcast today go to the ballot and select you as our next Sixth Circuit Court judge?
Well, based on my qualifications, I think I will make. I'm the best candidate under this race.
You're the best, okay?
I'm the best. I mean, just like I want people to be informed. What I'd like you to do is be informed voters. Go out, do your research. Go to my website, www.rosenthal, the number 4judge.com. Look at my credentials. Look at my extensive background history, not only dealing with the law but outside areas. And it's my extensive background and outside interests that give me the ability to connect with multiple groups of people with multiple backgrounds. I can't say anything bad about my opponents. I think they're both very nice people. I just think I bring a little bit more, and will bring a little bit more to the bench.
And who are your opponents?
Alicia Polk and Ken Lark.
Okay, all righty. Well, my listening audience today, you have been listening to the interview with Princess Denise and our candidate, Alan Scott Rosenthal, who's running for Sixth Circuit Court Judge on August 26th of this month. If you like what you hear and heard from him, even though that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, but you've heard enough to know that when you go to the ballot, you won't have to do any meeny, miny, mo. Like, I'm just going to pick somebody. I don't know anything about them. I just been getting all this stuff in the mail. So you've heard him today. So hopefully when you go, you can make the right decision in selecting your candidate for the Sixth Circuit Court judge. Now, I want you to stay tuned next week for another broadcast of Matters of the Heart with your radio host, Princess Denise Wright, from 1 o'clock p.m. to 1:30 p.m. on Praise 1590 AM WRXB and 96.5 FM radio. Thank you for tuning in today.